They said the world ended at night, but the screaming that started long before sunset, it was supposed to be safe. That's what the sign said. Safe zone -3 miles ahead, shelter supplies. Survivors welcome Paul, 42, his twin sons, Ethan and Caleb, both 15. All they had left was each other. The safe zone was an abandoned farm. 2 houses, a rotting barn, fences slumped over like broken ribs. Beyond that, endless fields, tall grass that whispered even when the wind was dead. Other families had come before them. Most didn't stay long, because at night the hollow men came. The first days were quiet. The boys fixed up the smaller house. Paul fortified the doors with old furniture, nailed the windows shut. Every sunset the farm changed. The trees grew blacker. The air turned thick, like breathing through wet cloth. And the fields began to hum. It wasn't music. It wasn't natural. It was a low, bone-deep vibration that made your teeth ache. Paul set curfews. Put outside after dark. No lights, no noise. He told the boys the rules. But rules don't stop curiosity, especially at 15. One night, Ethan stayed up late. He heard it scratching at the back door. A whimper, a human voice, soft, pleading. "Help me, it's so cold." He crept closer, hand shaking on the doorknob. Dad said not to open it. Caleb hissed from the stairs. But Ethan's heart twisted. What if it was someone like them? Someone lost? The scratching grew frantic. "Please, please, I'm bleeding." Ethan reached for the lock, but just before his fingers touched it, he heard it. A second voice, behind the door, exactly the same, perfectly mirrored, mocking. "I'm bleeding." His blood froze. Paul appeared behind them, silent as a ghost. He slammed the bolt shut and yanked them both away. "You never opened the door," he hissed. Not angry, terrified, because through the crack under the door, they saw it. Fingers, but not human fingers. Too long, too many joints bending wrong, tapping the wood like a spider's legs. The boys backed away. Paul stayed all night by the door, shotgun across his lap, eyes wide, staring at the boards like they might breathe. By morning, the scratches were gone. So were the voices, but the hum in the fields was louder. And now, something was watching the house from the corn. Supplies ran low. Paul had to leave. Just for a day, he left Ethan in charge, gave him the old revolver. "Whatever you hear," Paul said, gripping Ethan's shoulder hard. "You don't open the doors." Caleb cried when he left. The sun fell fast that day, too fast. And when darkness swallowed the fields, the hollow men came. At first, just shapes, tall, wrong-shaped silhouettes in the corn. Then, the whispers, calling Ethan by name, whispering things only his dead mother could have known. He covered Caleb's ears, held the revolver tight. Billboards on the windows began to crack. And then, worse, the barn lights flickered on, but there was no power. Through the flickering, they saw them clearly, the hollow men. Thin bodies of stitched skin and bone, mouths sewn shut, eyes hollow black pits, and they were smiling. Ethan knew they had to run. He grabbed Caleb and bolted for the cellar. Trapped underground, listening, the hatch above them shook, scraping, tapping. Voice like wet cloth dragging over stone. "You're not supposed to be here." Cars dragged by. The boys sat back to back, guns trembling in their hands. At dawn, the shaking stopped. They crawled out into the gray morning. The yard was empty, silent, but every blade of grass had been twisted into knots, shaped into words. Stay Paul never came back. 3 days passed. Each night, the hollow men came closer, screaming, tapping, smiling. The food ran out. Ethan knew they couldn't survive another night. He made a plan. He and Caleb would run at first light, across the fields, into the forest beyond. The last night on the farm was the worst. The house groaned and screamed like it was alive. Doors rattled, windows bulged inward. Ethan held Caleb close. "It's just noise," he whispered. "If we stay quiet, we'll be okay." But Caleb wasn't Caleb anymore. He turned to fast, to wrong, and smiled, mouth sewn shut with blood-red thread. "It's okay now," the thing in Caleb's skin whispered. "You can come with us." Ethan stumbled back, heart in his throat. Real Caleb's voice cried out from somewhere inside the walls, begging, sobbing. Ethan ran, burst through the door into the night, and the hollow men were waiting. They didn't chase, they didn't run, they just standing perfectly still, heads tilting, smiling those awful stitched smiles. Ethan ran into the cornfields, the hum swallowing him. He didn't stop, didn't look back. He thinks he made it to the woods. He thinks he's still running. But sometimes when the wind dies, he hears it, the soft tapping on tree bark, the low, wet whisper, "You're not supposed to be here." And every shadow looks like a hollow man, not smiling, not waiting. Because you can run from the far, but you can't run from the rules. And once they find you, you stay, still awake by the fire.